Survivors, listen up. I know it's been a tough couple of weeks. We've been beset by all these undead hordes. Our friends have fallen. And yet, we stand victorious. We have survived this far. There is another horde coming in tonight. We have to be ready. We have to dig deep. Bring forth the courage. Bring forth the wrath. We will prevail. Together, we stand united. And as we celebrate our fallen brothers, know that we will win. We will survive. We will... What the... What? You cowards! Cowards! Come back here! Come back here! Gaia! Gaia! Where did they all go? What the... Oh, these cowards! Gaia! Gaia! You can't trust anyone. Alright. Change of plans. Let's find something more reliable. Let's go the technology route. Welcome, Survivor. With all these cowards having left, I think we have to go a different route to defend the base. So this time we're going to look at the junk turret. This big unwieldy turret, at least when you're holding it, but when you put it down, it's pretty small and neat, and it is an autonomous tracking turret that will shoot at any zombies that are within this frontal arc. I think it's about 90 degrees or something. Quite useful. I hope you'll enjoy this guide to the junk turret. And of course, we are in 7 Days to Die Alpha 18. So before we go any further, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Hit that notification bell as well. And go have a look at my Twitter, my Discord, and all that. No. Okay, you can do that later. For now, let's focus on the junk turret. Let me pick it up again. So the first thing to do is let's look at all the skills. And they are under the Intellect. So we have the turret syndrome, but before we go to there, let's look at the attribute Intellect itself. You will see that all these ones, all the way down to 10, will increase the damage that the junk turret does to head damage. As you can see, it gives a 200% headshot damage and 5% chance to dismember with stun batons and junk turrets. And this will increase all the way up to 10, where it does 300% headshot damage and have a 50% chance to dismember with junk turrets, and of course the stun batons, but we're not looking at those right now. So fully kitted out, it does a fair bit of headshot damage and you can dismember. The downside is of course that, oops, let me pick it up, you can't actually hit right to zoom in. If you hit right, you'll get this placement marker, and that's not really what we want. It's a little bit, you can't escape out of it. Maybe if you can switch out and then you come back here. Only way to avoid it is to start shooting, which is a little bit irritating. But let's look at the turret syndrome. So you look at the first one, and this goes from 1 to 5 as well. The first one allows you to start crafting them, just quality 2 unfortunately. They deal 10% more damage, they fire faster 30%, and you can reload additional rounds, so they have a larger magazine capacity. The turret's active range also increases from 10 to 14 meters, and I believe that refers to how far from the player it will stay active. If you go outside of this, it will go inactive, and I'll show that later on. You can see it also says you can deploy multiple turrets, but only the closest will be active. As we go down to number 4, you can craft quality 5. They deal 40% more damage, 120% faster fire rate, which is really helpful, and reloads an extra 40 rounds. You also reload them faster, and the turret active range is 17 meters. Now the really good one is coming to number 5, where you have 20% faster reload, 50% extra rounds, and 18 meters active. But not just that, you can put down 2 turrets at once and 2 of will be active. Really useful. So let's have a look at one here. So it will tell you how you use it in general, that you deploy it on the ground using the secondary action, which is my right button, and you repair with the repair kits, and you scrap the junk turret parts, which is useful if you find a lot of poor quality ones that you want to just grab the junk turret parts from. But damage, so range damage is actually not really high. I think I've seen it go up to 19 or something unmodded. Magazine size is fairly large. I've seen it go up slightly higher than this. Rounds per minute, not too bad. Effective range, it does not have a really long range. And then durability. So how do we craft it? Because obviously we can find it, but you might want to craft some as well. And let's go to the workbench and do junk turret. Let's do junk turret. And you'll see I need to either unlock it through the turret syndrome or find the schematic. And of course I should be doing that. So let me do that. Let me boost that up. See if I can get all of them. And there we go. So now I can craft it. Unfortunately, it's only quality 5 compared to the quality 6 that you can find. But let's get a couple of these ones. They take quite a while to actually craft. They do take some junk turret parts, and like a lot of the crafting, the higher quality you get, the more parts it is. If you're going to craft, I think it's quality 2, it might only be 4. Once you up can do quality 5, you require 12 parts. That's quite a lot. Forged iron, duct tape, scrap polymers, the spring, all this is also increasing as the quality goes up. It's a little bit of a frustrating way of dealing with it, because let's say you want to craft a quality 3, you can't, it has to be 5, and then you need tons of resources. So how about the ammo? So junk turret ammo, it's really simple, and this is probably the simplest ammo that you can get, and it's basically just scrap iron or iron, and it costs 3 each. So let's say we want to make 100. It'll cost us 300, and you craft it in your inventory. It doesn't even take very long, so you can walk around and do this. You don't have to go to the workbench, unlike a lot of the gunpowder bullets that you want to craft. So it's fairly convenient. So how do you reload it? Well, you just select it, hit R, and you will be reloading, and it goes up to 147. Ooh, and that's of course because I pumped in skill points into my turret syndrome, so I can reload a lot of extra rounds. But you can increase that even further. So let's go, because it's a weapon. It's not just a turret like a shotgun turret and auto turret. It's actually a weapon as well. So if I start shooting, actually, where do I go out? Where's my, oh, here it is. Oh, I can't get out there. All right, let's try to get out here then. Oh, come on, come on. Let's jump down here. Oh, okay. That was painful. So, because it's a weapon, you can shoot manually, though that's not normally what I do, but you could. The problem, though, is that, you know, you do extra headshot damage, but look at that size of that. This says, well, this aiming crosshair, which is a little bit difficult to hit exactly what you want. You want to hit a headshot from this distance. It's not going to be easy. You see, it's going to be just somewhere within that. So that's a little bit painful. So instead, what you want to do is that you probably want to just right click and put it down, and you'll see it's tracking. You can hear that faint whirring sound, and of course you can see that laser sight that is on it, where it's tracking left and right. And if I go backwards, let's see when it goes inactive. Okay, that doesn't help very much. You see it's probably still active. Yeah, there. And you see it dips down, active, tracking, inactive. And I think that's the 18 meters that I have now. If you don't have the skill up as high, it will not allow you to go that far. Let's pick it up though. What you want to do, because it's a weapon, you also want to modify it, and you want to put on your mods, because that will increase a lot of this. So let's put on the drum magazine. Look at this. It can now hold a lot more. Let's put on the rad remover, cripple him. Let's do the shotgun choke as well. You'll see now it does 22 damage per shot instead. And let's reload. I think I'll go up to 289 rounds, which is really nice. Put it down again, and it'll keep tracking, and it now has almost 300 rounds before you have to reload it. The downside, of course, with this one is that you only have this 289 capacity, but of course this is because I got the drum magazine. If you have, let's say, 95, 100, after those shots, you have to pick it up and you have to reload it and put it down. So it can be a little bit inconvenient if you're fighting a lot of zombies, because you have to make sure that you go and reload them once in a while, because they will stop firing and then they're no help to you at all. But let's show how they look against some zombies. So let's spawn in a zombie or two. Let's do a bow here. Let me just use it normally myself, and I can shoot him and knock down. Come up, shoot him again, headshot. Oh, and there I killed him. So that was what, 5 shots. That was not too good. Let's get a Darlene. At long range, it can be really difficult to aim, because you see the crosshair is so big that it's really difficult. As they get closer, it gets easier, obviously. And if you're lucky enough to get a headshot, then yeah, that'll be good. But it is really close combat weapon, really, unless you put it down. You see, even like this close, I can still miss if I'm not lucky. So what you really want to do is that you want to put it down. You want to put it on, let's say you go into a POI. You go into the POI and you say, okay, here's the door. I think they're going to be coming from here. I hear something. You just right click and put it down. And let's do this. Let's get a cheerleader. Ace, ma'am. All right. You'll see it's going to be tracking, and there it goes. And there she's dead. And of course, this one is firing a lot faster because I had the turret syndrome. So this one has, let's see, 120% faster fire rate. I believe that's the same. So it's shooting a lot faster than normally. Of course, that means it's using up a lot more ammunition as well. But let's put in a few more, and it can take them out. And you notice as well, and let me not go down, you get all the experience. So unlike the normal turrets, the shotgun turret and auto turrets, you actually get the full experience for this one because it's considered being you. And it also has a fairly good stagger. And the faster it shoots, the more likely it is to stagger. So if it's like this, just 1 or 2 is generally not a big issue because it can take care of them pretty easily, and even if they don't kill them immediately, they can knock them down. Now, if you run into some of the, let's get them slightly further away. Let's get the radiator. Those ones are a little bit harder as well because they have a lot more hit points. But if it's just one, and especially fully upgraded one, it's not really that too bad. Of course, if I bring in a bunch of them, then yeah, that no longer works, as you see. all right, ladies, gentlemen. Okay, hold on. Yeah, it took out a little bit, but you know, it can only do so much. I mean, it can help a little bit, but you know, there's only so much it can do when there are just an overwhelming amount of zombies. But you saw now I have to reload it. It's down to 124 from the 289. Okay, so I've picked up one mod turret that I crafted, and I haven't really modded it. So let's see, it does just 15 damage. It's just a quality 5, and it's definitely not as good. And I'll put it down. You'll see both of them are active. And actually, let me try to get another one here. If I put this one down, yeah, you see, one of them stops working, and now I'm closer to here, so these two work. So depending on where you are, the closest two will be active. But let's pick this one up. We don't want to have too many of them. And these two are now both active because, again, looking at the turret syndrome, if you have robotics expert, 2 deployed turrets can be active at once, and that can double your firepower. So let's bring in some like this. You see, they even a small little horde here with, I mean, were they 8? They can take care of pretty well because there's 2 of them. So they will stagger them, which is really, really, really helpful. Let's do that. Some radiated. Can they do it? Nope. Barely. Oh, no. Almost. And of course, if you just let it be by itself. No. One more got through. Fortunately, I got my trusted sledgehammer. Thank you very much. Okay, she's down now. So they do a good job of cleaning up, but the more zombies there are, the greater likelihood of them actually breaking it through. So let's say I have my 2 here, and I'm gonna bring in a bunch of them here. Let's spawn in 25. That might be a little bit too much, but you know. All right, so they are gonna probably break through it. Yep. So what do? Well, you have a second line, of course, because it's only going to be 2 active. So because of these ones, I can then kite them over here, and they will start shooting at these ones. As they get over here, I can move back to here. And you see they're killing, and this was 25. They've probably taken out half. And let's get over here. They're taking them in the back. They're all ferals. So they have a fair bit of hit points as well. And I can move back and forth here and just let the turrets do the work. And once you have fewer and fewer, the turrets have a much easier time knocking them down. And once they knock them down, then obviously they're not going to be running, and right, let's get up here, and if I am here, probably it's gonna be, yep, just right. So that was 25, and I didn't have to swing a single blow myself because the turrets took care of it. So this is one way you can handle it when you have multiple turrets. Even if you find some lower quality one, let's say you use this one as your main we're exploring, or maybe you even have two, you can still bring a couple more for your base defense and just put them around your walls, because you might have this at your front gate, you might have these two at your back gate, and then you have sort of like one in between that just taken care of as they break through and they run past. That can be fairly useful as well. So don't scrap all of them. If you don't need to scrap them and they're at least quality 4, 5, 6, consider just keeping them, because they can be really helpful for base defense. So a couple of things to consider. So all these ones, whenever they're being used, make sure you're reloading them. It's nothing worse than having a non-reloaded turret. You get attacked, you try to put it down, and then it shoots 3 times, and then it's out of ammo, and then now you have to, in the middle of the fight, pick it up, reload it, and then start to put it down. That can be really, really annoying. I've done that myself a few times, unfortunately. That's one thing. Also, I would try not to use it manually. I mean, this is really terrible. This doesn't really do anything. Maybe early on, but generally it's supposed to be put down. Put it at a choke point. That really helps. And then as they come in, stand here yourself, bash them. Try not to pull back behind them, because if you stand, let's say I stand here and I'm fighting the zombies right in front of me. So let me not do 25. If I'm fighting them right in front of me here, of course they're gonna, okay, you guys are a little bit too good here. Let's put in, let's do this. If it's here, okay, all right, okay, you guys are, okay, no, okay, all right, right, one thing at a time. All right, let's pretend that didn't happen. Let's bring in a few of the cheerleaders. So, oh no, okay. Didn't I? Yeah, see, out of ammo. See, this is exactly what can happen if you don't reload them. Fortunately, I'm in God mode because I'm testing all this out. So let's pretend this didn't happen. So as they come in, and let me actually just pause the AI a little bit. Let's do that. If I move backwards, the zombies, as you can see, will run past the firing arc of the turret, and well, it can't shoot it because it's behind. So what you want to do instead is, all right, let's have her die. Let's bring in a couple of one. You want to stay slightly ahead, because if you stand here, all right, well, for one, the turret will be shooting at them, but the zombies will be attacking you. But while the zombies are attacking you, the turret will also be shooting it. If you pull back, they will be behind the turret and it won't be shooting at them. So try to not pull too far back. This is definitely much better. They come in, you stand here, you fight, you will take some damage, but at least the turret will be able to help you. Pull back, and that's not going to be the case. Eventually, you run out of ammo, and then you better be running away. No, actually, I don't have to do that. Ladies, please, sorry. Another thing to keep in mind is make sure you have plenty of ammunition as well. These ones stack up to, I believe, 1,000 if I'm not wrong in one, so you can bring a fair bit of ammo as well. I feel it's slightly too expensive. I wish it was only 2 iron per shot, because as you burn through a lot, I mean, if you burn through, let's say 1,000 ammo, that's 3,000 iron. I mean, that's quite a lot of iron that you might have been using for other things in your base, such as upgrading to steel and everything. If you use it consistently and all the time, you will be burning through a lot of iron. So what I normally do when I explore, I will bring one with me. I will put it down where I really worry that there might be radiated zombies. I'll go in and fight. If I really need to, I'll be pulling back, but I won't be pulling back the zombies to the turret unless I really feel that I can't handle it myself, because I want to conserve the ammo a little bit. As you notice, the damage is only 22. So if you have, let's say, a magnum, in this case, let's say it's 100 damage. So this one is it takes a lot less resources. You have an AK-47, almost 100 as well. And even a crossbow can have like 40 or 50 damage. So try not to waste the ammo too much, because you will be running out of iron if you do that. Finally, something to keep in mind is that if you have the Demolisher, well, they can actually trigger the C4 if you're unlucky like this. So, yeah, you saw that triggered him pretty fast. It didn't take long at all. So you want to be fairly careful with them shooting at Demolishers, because otherwise, well, you'll have a big hole in the road outside or a big hole in your base. So what if you do see the Demolishers coming, you might want to consider either pulling back such that they're no longer active, like now, or you simply pick them up. That can save you from having a lot of damage in the wrong place. But against normal zombies, they can be really effective. And hope you enjoyed this quick guide. And yeah, the turrets will always be with you, unlike these cowards who run away when the going gets tough. No more lock and load, just run and run, not even run and gun. I'll see you next time.
Special thanks to the great patrons supporting the channel. If you would like to join the vetted community and support these videos, do follow the Patreon link.